If the phone doesn't ring and the inquiry never comes in, how's that salesperson supposed to do their job? They're getting scammed. In this video, we're going to be exposing just how car dealership salespeople are getting scammed at Legacy Automotive, and most have no idea what's going on. I'm Josh West, and this is Josh West 24/7. I'm a 15-year veteran of Legacy Automotive and a top performer in the field. But I now realize that the dealership network is completely obsolete, and I'm going to continue to show you why. I spent over a decade in legacy automotive sales, set multiple national sales records, met many wonderful customers, and worked with a few great people. So I speak from experience when I say that a cataclysmic wave of change is crashing down on legacy automotive, and dealership salespeople are getting scammed on many levels, 4 to be exact. So let's unpack them together. How can manufacturers be scamming dealership salespeople? It's pretty simple. We'll start off with the fact that legacy auto manufacturers are not releasing products that people want to buy. Drive past the local dealership and you'll see fields of Hemi Rams sitting around that nobody wants. Why is that? Why is that when they release an electric vehicle, the thing sells out immediately? Many manufacturers out there are just rehashing old technologies. Take a look at the new Nissan GT-R, for example. That's the exact same car they've been making for over a decade, and they're trying to pass it off as new. Why? Because they changed the bumper design a little bit? Come on, guys. This is dated. The reality is the phone is not ringing with buyers looking to purchase a vehicle that has 12-year-old technology. These manufacturers are simply rehashing and reusing old technology from years gone by and attempting to pass it off as new, when in fact it's completely dated and already obsolete before it rolls off the lot. Take a look at the new Ram TRX. The motor they put in that they've been making since 2014. It's over a decade old. And what did they do? They popped it into a 2018 truck, lifted it, put a wide body on it and said, oh, this is the latest and greatest. Wow, incredible. The thing's a dinosaur. Take a look around, guys, if you're watching this video. Pretty empty showroom, right? Is the phone ringing, right? No, you're watching a YouTube video wondering why things are so bad and looking for the answers here. The reality is that what's in your showroom is junk that's been rehashed from the last 10 or 15 years. And what have they done with it? They just stuck a few stickers on it, made it a wide body. Maybe they put a bigger spoiler on and said, ooh, this is the latest and greatest. Take a look at the lineup at these legacy auto dealerships. It's the same stuff they've been selling 5, 10, 15 years ago. The same models, the same engines, the same powertrain. Where is the desirability of these vehicles? It's completely absent, and that is why the phone is not ringing. That's why Stellantis is idling indefinitely the Jeep Cherokee plant in Belvidere, Illinois. Why would they be idling that plant? You read the headlines that say, oh, it's because the cost of EVs is going up. Therefore, we're idling a plant that doesn't make EVs. Pardon me? How does that make sense, Carlos? Just another cheap excuse. It's pretty obvious. They're just simply trying to cover up the fact that they don't have any demand. Hey guys, working at the Stellantis stores, is the phone ringing off the hook for that Jeep Cherokee? No, it's not. And that's why they've shut the plant down. It has nothing to do with the fact that EVs may cost more to manufacture than vehicles they've already been making for 100 years. Why is it that the Ford Lightning, Ford Mach-E, the Jeep Wrangler 4xe, why are those selling out? They have no problem. They're just rolling off the dealership lots. Most of them for MSRP, guys. People aren't even asking for a discount, and dealers are getting over list. Why is that? Because they're compelling. People want to buy them. Why are the Ram lots filled with Ram Classics? Why are the phones not ringing for them? Why are the dealerships selling Grand Wagoneers at $5,000 losses and still can't move them? Why? Because nobody wants those slugs.
It's got a lot of power, it's got a lot of torque, but ultimately it's a dinosaur. I understand that a lot of people buying in this segment don't care, that can afford the fuel economy, but 13 miles per gallon at this point, I mean, it's just, you're just starting to not want to do that. Like, I don't care who you are. At some point, you start to feel some environmental responsibility. 13 miles per gallon just isn't where you want to be, especially in today's world where you can buy some electric vehicles like Model X that can do it without any fuel at all. This thing, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars a year in fuel. And there's really no attempt made in Grand Wagoneer to make it any more efficient at all. There's no plug-in version. Maybe that'll come. There's going to be a plug-in Grand Cherokee. There's no even mild hybrid system. It's just a massive, hulking, old school engine. I think it came out in the late 2000s, and it feels it.
You're looking at a vehicle that has 15-year-old technology. Nobody wants it. Why can't companies like Jaguar and Lincoln sell a car to save their life? Probably because they're undesirable and people do not want them. That's the manufacturer's fault, not the salespeople's fault. If the phone doesn't ring and the inquiry never comes in, how's that salesperson supposed to do their job? They're getting scammed. How about huge delays in updating discount programs to reflect current market conditions? When these inventory levels are building up, obviously nobody wants to buy them. Why are the manufacturers so slow in updating their discount programs to incentivize customers to buy? They're building vehicles that nobody wants to buy at that current price point, and you can't send the vehicle back to the factory and change the technology. The only choice they have is to discount it, yet they refuse to update these prices quick enough. And who loses? The dealership salespeople. They're getting scammed. Or here's a good one. How about the fact that they're announcing vehicles that won't even hit dealership lots for 2 to 3 years? Hey, did you guys watch the Super Bowl? Did you see the ad for that shiny new Ram truck? That electric Ram that, oh, you can reserve it, but it's not coming out until the end of 2024, which really means that it's the 2025 by the time it hits car dealerships? Hello, it's the beginning of 2023. You're talking over 2 years away from when you'll actually see that thing on a lot before you can even go for a test drive. And if the thing is successful, whoever's placing an order, even after they get to drive it, is still going to wait another year to get the thing? What are we even talking about? Can you imagine being the salesperson sitting at their desk? They're trying to field inquiries and they're trying to make a living today. They want to sell a car today. They want to deliver the car today. They want to get paid on the car today. But no, they're picking up the phone. Oh yeah, I'm wondering about that Ram. Yeah, can I come and check it out? Oh no, sir, didn't you see in the commercial? It says we're still 2 years away. 2 years? What are we even talking about? This is ridiculous. When in the automotive industry ever did you have vehicles that were announced and actively pursued and advertised on national television during enormous sporting events such as the Super Bowl? But no, we're going to advertise vehicles that are years and years away. What does that do to your dealership salespeople? They just get frustrated. Salespeople need to sell a car now. They need to feed their family now. They need to sell cars now. Make the compelling electric truck now, Stellantis. What an incredible approach to marketing. Fill your dealer lots with Ram Classics that absolutely nobody wants. That's basically a 2009 Ram with new stickers on it. But we're going to advertise this new state-of-the-art electric truck. Oh my gosh, can you imagine who's in charge of this company? And they're not the only ones. Go to a Nissan store. These guys are so behind. Go to Honda, for goodness sakes. Go find an electric Honda right now. Yeah, good luck. Okay. There are some manufacturers who are building some compelling vehicles. There's some plug-in electric hybrids that are selling very well and some full electric vehicles, such as the Ford Lightning. Now, there's only one problem though. The profit margins that are given to the dealerships, the profit margins that are set by the manufacturers, are significantly smaller on electric or electrified vehicles compared to internal combustion engine vehicles. And that creates a conundrum, a real problem for the salesperson. You see, they're paid on gross profit in the deal. But the problem is that the vehicles that people actually want to buy have the smallest profit margins. And so you have this conflict where the salesperson's trying to earn a living, but is actually getting scammed out of commissions because the margins on the vehicles that people want to buy are so much smaller. Not a good situation. More and more vehicles will be electrified and fully electric, and they will carry those smaller profit margins. That means that moving forward, the salespeople's potential commission is significantly smaller. How else are the dealership salespeople getting scammed? By the very leadership at their own dealerships. Let's get into this one. I'd like to preface it with a quote from one of the greatest sales gurus of our time, Grant Cardone. Grant says this: "A well-trained sales team, not management, not the internet, not customer satisfaction, and not marketing is the only thing that can cost-effectively create customers in this economy. Economies exist only when someone finds a prospect and sells that prospect a product or service, at which point they exchange money with your company. Salespeople drive entire economies, and without them, we have no economy." Grant Cardone.
Some general managers play favorites. They will actually penalize lower performing salespeople, especially if they have a good month. They'll just pencil away some of their commissions because they feel they don't deserve it and they want to enrich themselves. Of course, they're paid on the net bottom line after all commissions are paid out. So in effect, if they pay out less commissions, that means a bigger check for themselves personally. Can you imagine capping commissions and making arbitrary compensation changes completely contrary to the agreed upon pay plan? Yes, that happens, and it happens a lot more than you'd think. Oftentimes, management can view a high-performing salesperson as earning too much and then somehow intervene either on a deal-by-deal basis or on an annual income basis and curtail that person's compensation, even though their agreement is a pay-for-performance pay plan, but only to a point. And where is that point, you say? Well, it's wherever their emotions lead them. And it goes even further than that. Dealer leadership lies to their sales staff on a regular basis about what their profit margins are. You see, salespeople are usually paid 25 to 35% of gross profit. The problem comes when the dealership lies and deceives the staff as to what actually is the profit of the vehicle. They implement things like packs or adjustment of costs, uncommissioned dealer fees, flat rate commission fees, inconsistent pay plans, averaging one cost of a vehicle to another, inflating internal inventory costs, artificially high internal rates from department to department, and the list goes on. Dealership management has been using outdated fear tactics, threatening discipline and termination for non-performance, public humiliation and discipline in front of peers, zero tools given to help non-performers improve and accelerate, and zero example of what they should be doing. You see, most of the time, dealership management views their sales staff as completely expendable, replaceable, and of no value. Now, there are some exceptions, and those exceptions went on to build highly successful teams. The problems continue where a lot of dealership management is just filled with weak salespeople. Managers oftentimes could not even get close to the targets that they set for their own salespeople. How can they lead by example if they don't have the skill set that they're trying to implement into their staff? What makes matters worse is that jealousy from managers to high-performing salespeople is absolutely rampant. And what's even crazier is that the job itself, selling, is a pay-for-performance duty. So it's wild that somebody who's in a salaried management position would become jealous of somebody who's working strictly off commission, yet it happens all the time. Dealership salespeople are getting the short end of the stick. Now, you probably didn't see this one coming, but customers are also partially responsible for scamming salespeople. There's an old saying in the car business, buyers are liars. Now, this doesn't apply to every customer, of course, but there have been enough for this slogan to have been created. Customers feel justified in lying to salespeople, and in turn, salespeople feel justified in lying to the customer. And the problem is that creates a very negative dynamic, tainting the entire buying experience, makes it very negative overall. Customers have been somewhat taught to disrespect the salesperson. Again, totally understandably because of all the horror stories that you and I have all heard. The problem is that when that customer comes to meet that salesperson for the first time, they've never met before, the customer automatically assumes that salesperson is that negative stereotype and therefore reacts accordingly. And the salesperson ends up with the short end of the stick again. And I have witnessed customers who stereotype salespeople negatively, and they can become very emotionally abusive during the process. What I've seen happen is customers will pit salespeople against salespeople, sometimes at different dealerships and sometimes at the same dealership, just to try and get a lower price. And truth just becomes a sideline. The reality is it's a stressful dynamic between salespeople and customers. And the salesperson has to work extra hard to overcome those terrible stereotypes. The fourth and final way that car salespeople are getting scammed is with disruption. The reality is customers hate the dealership buying experience. They hate running around to 50 different dealerships. They hate going back and forth. They hate the games. They hate the, I'm going to go talk to my manager. They hate the adjusted trade values. They hate going and sitting down with a finance and insurance manager and being upsold after they already thought they bought the car and the entire process. They hate buying cars from dealerships and car salespeople, no matter how nice they are.
Any opinion poll of anywhere, in any context, as to whether people want direct sales, the answer is overwhelmingly yes. The percentage of people in favor of allowing Tesla to do direct sales varies from a low of 86% to 99%. And in the case of the 86, there was a concerted attempt by the auto dealers to get everyone they could to possibly vote against it. and it still was 80%, 86% in favor.
After enduring all that abuse, the inevitable shift to a direct-to-consumer sales model will put those salespeople into a state of involuntary unemployment. If you work for a Legacy Automotive dealership, let me share this with you. I've been where you are, I've sat in your seat, I've talked to the same customers and sold the same vehicles. And I'm telling you right now that there is an unbelievable change coming. The legacy automotive manufacturers do not have a choice but to go direct to consumer. And so that's how dealership salespeople are getting scammed. Scammed by the manufacturers, scammed by the dealerships they work for, scammed by the customers they sell to, but most importantly, they're being scammed by disruption. A disruption that will end up putting them out of work involuntarily. By eliminating dealerships, all of this nonsense will be eliminated. Negative high-stress situations for customers will be eliminated, and manufacturers will not be at the mercy of poor dealership management, questionable business practices, negative customer experience, and negative brand impact the dealership network is causing, especially since their new competitors are all moving to the direct-to-consumer method. Dealerships don't want you to know what's happening behind closed doors. It's very messy, and it's been messy for years. Just that now there's a new alternative, direct to consumer. It's much cleaner, efficient, stress-free, and streamlined. They're getting rid of the unnecessary middlemen, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop this incredible wave of change that's happening. Drop a comment down below. What's your experience been with dealership salespeople? Or do you work at a dealership? And if so, what's your game plan moving forward? As the industry moves towards direct to consumer, what exactly do you have planned to do for work? Legacy Automotive doesn't want you to know what's going on, and I'm going to continue to share what I know and what I see coming. So stick around, watch for the next video. This series isn't over yet. We've got a lot more secrets from Legacy Automotive coming your way, but you're going to have to wait until the next video.